Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Alright, so just going to make a quick video here about this Afghanistan situation again. Not able to really get in my room, do the usual recording like I do in my room at my house, but taking the wife's car out today to go get an oil change done. Really not able to take care of it myself today because we're going on vacation tomorrow. So taking this to get it done. So I figured I would just, put the phone up here on the dash real quick and record a quick video about this. But, there's some clips I'm going to play here in a little bit that I found of things that have gone on with like the troops and Afghanistan, thing like that. We're going to get to those in just a minute. But Kim Iverson just reported on this. Apparently there's a leaked transcript of a phone call between former president of Afghanistan, Ghani, and President Joe Biden. Now, me personally, I don't really care about a transcript. I want to see, or hear rather, the audio. Let's get that. I want to actually hear the phone call because, anybody can, I guess, make up a transcript, right? And obviously, newspapers, mainstream media, they are obviously unloading on both barrels with Biden for withdrawing. But if this is in fact true, Reuters is reporting that Biden pretty much knew that the Taliban was way stronger than they actually were. So all of his claim that, push back, they're not going to take over so quickly, blah, blah, blah. He basically told Ghani to go out and lie. Okay? Now, I've been praising Biden for actually going through and withdrawing. I'm not going to flip on that now. I think it was the right thing to do. But if in fact Biden had knowledge that this was going to fall like that, okay, and he's telling the former president of Afghanistan to go out and lie about that, and then all the while you're not getting the people out that really needed to be gotten out. So like all the important, ambassadors, all the people we were having to scramble like hell to get out at the last minute. You should not have been waiting and sitting on your ass making that happen if you knew this was going to happen the entire time when you were going to pull out of Afghanistan. If you had had knowledge, and you're even telling the president of Afghanistan at that time to go out and lie about this so that there's not bad PR about us pulling out, the country's going to fall in no time or whatever it is you think you're trying to avoid, you should at the very least, if you knew this was going to happen, still went forward with evacuating people in a much more timely manner. And fuck, you had months to do it, okay? We were supposed to withdraw back in May, and you pushed it to September 11th. You technically did it by August 31st. But what the fuck did you do with all that time that you were just sitting on if you knew this was going to fall in no time? So if that does in fact turn out to be true, there is one of the valid criticisms that I have recognized up to this point that you can criticize Biden over. There's valid criticisms without giving the implication about how the Taliban got our weapons and Lord, we didn't get a return of investment. Fuck a return of investment. A war is not supposed to be a return of investment in the first damn place. Okay? War should only be when we have to absolutely protect ourselves, and that's not what this was. You could argue we initially went there to get Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, but guess what? That mission was accomplished years ago, and then we wanted to turn it into nation building, which is bullshit. So, if in fact this is true, there is one area that Joe Biden deserves criticism. But overall, am I upset that because he did it that way that we had withdrawn? No. I'll take the withdrawal and I'll criticize where criticism is due. Now, I want to turn your attention to these clips that I'm about to show you right now, okay? One more reason to all the neocons out there, or to all the people who want to keep arguing this point of we didn't get a return of investment. Oh, we did such a terrible job. Look how quickly this country fell. Blah, 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 right? Okay. I want you to take a good look at the clips that you're about to see. Now, one in particular is pertaining to Afghanistan. And as I referenced in a previous video about a lot of the people who were apparently enrolling in the Afghan military there having a drug problem, this is going to be the clip that I was referring to. Another is not referring to Afghanistan, it's referring to Iraq, or Iraq, however you want to pronounce it. But the bigger takeaway is, I want you to think back. Similar situation happened with Iraq when we withdrew from Iraq, right? It was one of Trump's criticisms when he was running for president, when he's on the debate stage, like, oh, you know, we gave all these weapons to their military and then they just turned and ran on us. Okay? So I want you to look at these clips and I want you to listen to what's being said right there. And then I'm going to come back, we'll discuss just a little bit more.
The chief doesn't have a rifle right now. How is he ready? It's like having 26 kids that I have to watch after. It really is. Ready would be on the road, staged, ready to move at 8:30.
I think if they introduced drug testing to the Afghan army, we would lose probably 3/4 to maybe 80-85% of the army.
It requires telling them almost 30 times, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Come on, let's go.
Which one of you are more loyal to the militia than to your own country? None of you. Bullshit. Some of you in this formation are fucking lying right now. You know why I'm pissed off? I come down here with my soldiers to try to train you, and you're trying to fucking kill Americans. You're trying to kill your fellow fucking Iraqis because you got no fucking backbone. You want everything from me. You want weapons and ammunition. You want fuel. You want trucks. But you're too fucking pussy to go 3 kilometers down the fucking road and go get the people that are tearing this fucking town apart. It's pure fucking cowardice. I'll take 3 goddamn trucks down the road any fucking day. You think this is funny? You want to call me out? You think it's fucking funny? Why don't I take your ass out back and kick your little fucking ass? You better shut the fuck up. Fucking pay attention. I got no problems beating any one of your asses. Not one. Because I don't give a fuck. Because you're acting like a bunch of fucking women. Shut up, I'm talking. Shut your fucking mouth. I'm not gonna come down here and waste my fucking time or my soldiers' lives because you don't want to do shit. You guys better figure out where your loyalties lie. Are you loyal to Iraq? Shia? Sunni? What is it? You want to fight for your country? Or are you better off having me die for your country because you're too much of a fucking woman to do it yourself? You love seeing Americans die for your fucking country. You won't die for it yourself. I don't see your ass in my hometown. And fucking leadership better get your head out of your asses too. Lead from the fucking front. When's the last time you got a patrol? Probably never. When's the last time you went these guys down the ledge? When did you take them in ledge and fucking lead them on a fucking patrol? You never did you? Because you're too chicken shit. Figure out what the fuck you want out of us or I'm gonna stop coming down here. And when the Sunnis from Lynch come up here and cut your fucking heads off, I'm not gonna do a goddamn thing about it.
Alright, so as you saw in those clips, first clip I showed, obviously, as I referred to in a previous video and in this one, shows where you got the troops who were literally in Afghanistan, okay, trying to train the Afghan military, talking about the fact that if they introduced drug testing to these people who were making up the Afghan military, they would lose a large percentage of that group. So what does that tell you right off the bat? First of all, look, drugs, I'm not anti-drug. I don't like hard drugs. I think they're life-destroying. I've smoked pot, but it's not something you need to do when you're trying to go into battle, right? Like, the last thing I want to do if I smoked pot would be fight someone. Okay, stoners are not like drunks. An alcoholic, depending on what kind of drunk they are, would probably want to fight. I mean, it's the old stereotype of like Irish people. Oh, we go to the bar, we go to the pub, we drink, we get drunk, and we fight, right? So drinking can cause a violent reaction. Now, something like cocaine could as well. But, you know, depending on what they're high on, I guess, makes the difference. But people who are getting high, number one, they might not be paying attention to learn how to fight the best. They might have the violent streak, but do they know what to do with it? See, that's the other issue there. So that's one problem, okay? And that's in the first clip. So that shows you right there was already problems with who we were training, who was stepping up to this battlefield. The second clip, from what I have gathered, is supposed to be footage of the Afghan military literally just laying down their arms in front of the Taliban. Now, I haven't been able to confirm if this is real or not, but just based off my good common sense, I would go with it probably is, simply because that fucking place fell in like a week, right? So obviously they weren't putting up very much of a fight if they had the numbers we were told to have. Which again, going off this whole Reuters report, that could be a lie. Maybe they didn't have that many troops. I don't know at this point, okay? But if they did, they clearly didn't put up much of a fight against the Taliban. And then, of course, you get around to the final clip, which shows the problem with what was going on in Iraq. And you've got this, I don't know, I want to say drill instructor, but, he's not at an actual boot camp per se. So I don't really know what his rank was or what, his official title was. But he's obviously giving them the drill instructor type lecture. Like, you fucking, pansies need to quit bitching and whining and moaning and start actually trying to take this fight seriously. You don't want to fight. You're scared shitless to really go out there and fight. You want my guns, my people. You want us to basically just fight this war for you because you're too chicken shit to actually go out there and do it yourself. So that brings me back to a point I made in the first couple of videos. Number one, okay, the people who just ran from the Taliban, if you really wanted to keep this country, then you ran like fucking cowards. And that's not our fault. It's not Biden's fault. It's not anyone else's fault that the fucking people who were left with all that equipment, all those weapons, just ran like fucking bitches. Okay? It's not our fault. We are not going to stay there for the rest of our, fucking lives and our existence to fight for a country that's not our country. Also, rich bureaucrats can try to keep the heroin trade propped up. They can try to get access to minerals. They can nation build, etc., etc. No, fuck that. Okay, we got our own problems right here at home that we need to be dealing with. Okay? Furthermore, I think this just goes to show the point, as I'm going to explain right here. The only people who can fight a revolution are the people of that country themselves. There is, I guess it's possible, but it will never be successful for people from the outside to fight a revolution for people on the inside. If you're sick and tired of living under an authoritarian, oppressive regime that's based on nothing but religion, then at some point, you'll stand up, you'll grow a pair, you'll actually put up a fight, or die trying if you don't win. And your clearly not willing to fucking do that right now. 20 years of us fucking being there. 20 years that the Taliban has been gone. And when they're on the verge of coming back, you all bitched, whined, moaned, tried to grab airplanes to escape, but you weren't willing to fucking fight them off. So, this might sound cold, this might sound heartless. Am I supposed to feel sad for you people who want us to fight for you, but you're not willing to fight for yourselves? No. And that just further backs up my reasons why we shouldn't fucking be there. I do not want people who enlisted in a military with the notion they were serving and fighting and dying for our country to go die for people who are really not fucking grateful for their service because they're willing to not fight when it's their fucking time. But they'll let our men and women go die for that shit. No, fuck that. That just pisses me off. So, once again, I applaud Biden 100% on his decision to withdraw. He deserves still a round of applause for actually carrying out the withdrawal. You know, something his predecessors, especially the last two in particular, obviously Bush kind of took us there, but Obama and Trump both ran on withdrawing, didn't actually have the guts to pull the trigger, and Trump he was wishy-washy. He went back and forth, and then basically was like, oh yeah, we're going to pull the trigger and withdraw after he fucking lost the election. Okay? So, kudos to Biden for actually having the guts to do the right thing and withdraw. You can give him the criticism on the valid points, or the things like what I brought up about if this Reuters transcript turns out to be true. Give him criticism on stuff like that. He deserves that. He deserves that. Perhaps there is ways he could have done this thing better. But as far as the notion goes that, oh, he was in the wrong for withdrawing, nah. He was 100% correct. Our people should not be fighting on foreign soil for people who are not even willing to fight for themselves. Period. Number one, they shouldn't be fighting on foreign soil for other people anyway, or for a bunch of corrupt billionaire oligarchs so they can line their fucking pockets. Okay? The U.S. military is meant to defend the United States. And as of right now, the Taliban, not even mainstream media is claiming this, they're not planning a Normandy invasion on Virginia Beach next week, or even next month. So, where are you needing to defend us? The Taliban simply wants the country back that they had over 20 years ago. That's it. And the people who don't want to live underneath their regime, grow a pair and finally fucking fight for yourselves. Quit expecting the U.S. military and our men and women to come die for you because you don't want to fight for yourselves. That's bullshit. And once again, just backs up the reasons, number one, why we shouldn't have been there to nation build, and number two, why it is long past time that we got the fuck out. So if you agree, you like this video, make sure you smash that like button. Drop the comments in the comment box down below. We'll have a pre-recorded Unity Through music that's going to be coming out on Tuesday. We'll be reviewing Mudvayne Choices. A great song by a great metal group, Mudvayne. Unfortunately, they've been, disbanded for about 10 years now. But great band, great song. So definitely make sure you check that out on Tuesday. And again, smash that like button if you haven't. You just found the channel. If you're on YouTube, that would be surprising. But go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell so you get our notifications. Remember to go follow over on Rockfin as well. Rockfin is a great platform for content creators. We'll see you next time right here on the Lone Wolf Podcast. Take care, everyone.